unique blend of practical wisdom and motivational insights to today's FDP session. Before Sir begins with today's session, I would just like to give brief introduction about our respectable resource person. Sir is a distinguished academician and NCC officer. He is a professor in the Department of Commerce at Delhi College of Arts and Commerce, University of Delhi. Sir has authored 5 books and published numerous research papers in national and international journals. Sir's areas of interest are business management, financial markets, entrepreneurship development, and commerce education. Besides, Sir is a commissioned officer, captain in the National Cadet Corps, serving with 7 Delhi Battalion NCC, Delhi Directorate, where he provides training and mentorship. On behalf of the organizing committee of Shaheed Paimani Singh Khalsa College, Longowal, I extend warm welcome to our respectable resource person once again. Sir's topic for today's FDP session is Leading with Purpose in the AI Era, a meta-analytic examination of leadership styles and their outcomes for sustainable organizational growth. Now, without consuming any more time, I request our respectable resource person to kindly proceed with second session of 1-week faculty development program. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for your kind words. Are you able to see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, thank you, the organizer, to giving me this opportunity to present my viewpoint. And because the area you have touched here, AI and technology, and we being is faculty of the commerce background, try to correlate our knowledge in the field of AI. I have done my thesis, Ph.D. in the domain of the leadership, and in today's my presentations, my focus will be only how a leadership now in the top of the world is now working in the area of the AI, and what kind of the thinking they have right now, the kind of investment they are making at the right now. I'm going to highlight that particular area. Thereafter, the use of technology in research in PhDs. I have done in my PhD the meta-analysis for the literature review. That's a new concept introduced in our university in 2-3 years back. And I have done that. And I hope the new researcher who is doing the PhD and who are in the urge of writing their thesis, and they are able to understand the meta-analysis is also a useful tool to make the point in the research gap, how to identify the research gap, whether there is a research gap exist or not. And third, I'm going to show you the result of my findings of that particular study which I made, the impact of leadership on organizations' performance, in which I have studies 4 kind of the leadership and 5 kind of the outcome variable, and I have correlate between them and made establish the impact of the leadership on organizations' performance. And my study, which I done the PhD based upon the conceptual model given by the Houghton, Nick, and the Kishan Kumar. And in this particular model, they shown is 7 kind of the leaderships and 11 kind of the outcome variable. And conceptual model too, and that model was published in 2016. We choose out of 7 these 4 spiritual leadership style, and the out of 11 we shortlisted these 5 outcome variables: job satisfaction, personal fulfillment, organization's commitment, turnover intention, and employee well-being. Now, as we talking about the leadership, this slide is from the last couple of months. I am working on the understanding of how the top leadership in the world is thinking on the domain of the AI era. And if you see the center screen, there is the picture is given, shown is the NVIDIA CEO Jensen, they last 3 week back, they come up with their new chip known as the Blackwell chip. And that chip is 10-year advanced chip. It means whatever the chip available right now in industry, they come up with such kind of the innovations that they are the 10-year advance. And the president of United Nations, Donald J. Trump, publicly announced while he was in the Asia trip that that chip is only for USA and we are not going to give that chip to any other country. And you find that in medias that nowadays China and China and the USA, there's a lot of tension is going on because the Trump administration wants that the USA should be now focused on the manufacturing at USA. Therefore, they are increasing the tariffs, and they all want that the investment should be whatever the innovation the USA is doing from the last 30 year. The trend was last 30 year was such that they do innovations and they do patent, and thereafter they send their technologies, their you can say whatever the uh, concept they generated, they for the production they send to the China, and China become the hub of the manufacturing hub for the entire world. But now USA is now more focusing on the that they are going to become the manufacturing hub, and for that lots of negotiation right now in the form of tariff is going on in USA and entire world. And if we see the repeated speech of the Donald Trump and these speech, we came to know that during the 9 month of the tenure of the Donald Trump, approximately $18 trillion investment happened in USA. That's very big amount. It's not a small amount. And when we are talk about these all these videos, we came to know that in the top leadership nowadays, talking about a term known as a AI factories. When Elon Musk, this NVIDIA CEO Jensen went to the uh, South Korea last week, and during the APEC summit, he explained and he deliberately said in this stage that every country in the world now they need to make a AI factories. This term AI factory is new in the domain because earlier we talk about the AI data centers, but now we are not talking about the data center. Now we are talking about the AI factories. When somebody asks him that, why you use
Sorry,
the
I'm sorry for the
yes, yeah, please, thank you. Now it is very much now. We were in the Johnson was in the South Korea. He talked about the AI factories. AI factory means somebody asked him that, what do you understand by the term AI factories? Why are you using the word AI factories? Then he said that in AI factory, in the normal factories, when, for example, you have a factory of a manufacturing of a car, the outcome will be a car, right? You have a manufacturing of a clothing, the outcome will be the shirt or the trouser, whatever you're producing there. And when we talk about the AI factories, that AI factory mean you give the information to the that computer center, and you can generate the intelligence from out of that. It means AI factory, they are using the term right now whenever we want some information and we want to generate our required information as we like, the image we like, the content we like. For example, ChatGPT we use, we give the command to generate information for us. It means that information is generated from the AI factories. You can understand, and they said that the kind of the system they are now producing or they are working right now, it is just a beginning, because the peoples are also asking that is the AI bubble, so it might be burst out just like a dot-com bubble happened in 2001 or one or so. But he said he defended in yesterday when there was a US Saudi investment summit happened in the Washington. He defended that it is not a bubble. bubble, because he said it is just a beginning of the AI, because now the kind of the technology is generated by them, they are going to serve each and every industry. For example, pharmaceutical industry, for example, your car manufacturing, any kind of the factory you talk about, they require automation, and for the automation they require intelligence. For intelligence they require the chip, and the chip they are producing for the same. And the USA right now in these far ahead to producing a chip. In India, we came to know in media, two plants are now working for the semiconductor chip in Assam and the one in Andhra Pradesh, but they are only just initial stages. They are only just acquiring the land right now. But in USA, a lots of a trillions of investment happening, a big, you can say very big industry, or in the you can say giant AI factories are building up. If we talk about the open AI, and in which the four, you can say the four partners are there. One is called OpenAI itself, second the SoftBank, third one is the Oracle, and the first is the GN infrastructure. They are making the plants, their AI factories they're making. And Trump has made a very good initiative. For any AI factories, they required energy. Energy means they required electricity, and for that electricity and the current setup of the USA is unable to supply the required electricity to the AI factories. Now the Trump is come up with the new innovation, and he passes such kind of the regulation or the notification. According to that, he allowed that the all the AI factories, if they want, they can generate their own electricities, and they consume that electricity. If they have a surplus electricity, they can sell that electricity to the grid. What a novel innovation he has done. And he also allowed the whatever the kind of the electricity you want to generate for the AI factory, you can allow. Even he allowed civil nuclear energy generations permissions. And one of them is the Microsoft. Bill Gates is building his AI factories, in which they are doing the innovate they are going to be make their underground nuclear plant from where they can generate the energy supply for their AI factories. It means this is happening now. And 2 day back, the three important, you can say, the companies came together. There is a Microsoft, Nvidia, and Anthropic. These three companies now making a partnership for the cloud computing. It mean if we go through from all these presentations or these seminar, the knowledge I being a commerce background, I able to understand the leadership in USA now, vast scale. They are investing, they are innovating, they are generating the AI factories. And the reason for that, Saudi yesterday announced 1 trillion investment in USA. They seek they seek that the technology which is generated at the USA should be transformed to the Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. In the last 2 weeks, South Korea had make a agreement with the Nvidia GPUs. It means everything is changing. Every advanced country is after the AI. So we can say it is not a bubble. And I was listening to the interview given by the Sam Altman, the CEO of the OpenAI, to his professor of the Stanford University in Open Platform. And being a teacher, and you are a scholar or you're a teacher, and his teacher asked to Sam that, Sam, it is possible the AI can generate the printable the research paper. He said that, sir, it is possible nowadays. We are working on that in future. The kind of the information you want to generate, you give the command and the kind of information you will get. There are the peoples like Microsoft CEO or the Microsoft former chairman said we need not to be go to office now. 3 day working is more than enough because everything is now done automatically, right? And with this, my purpose is only to discussion is that everything what happening in the area of the in the area of the AI, how the leader are thinking, how the leader are investing, how the finance are moving from one place to other place. That is the purpose of showing this particular slide there. Now let me move further. Go for the next slide. Now, being academic, I am going now discuss with you the meta-analysis techniques. For the next slide, please. Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, for we know that for the researcher, it is very difficult to find out a research gap. What is the purpose of making a research? The purpose of making research that whatever happen in the field in which you are going to engage, and you have to find out the research gap, and you make a research and you try to fill up that research gap. That's the purpose of making any research. Whether you do the MPhil nowadays is not allowed, but if you do a PhD or if you write any research paper, this is the purpose to fill up the gap of the research gap. And for that, in literature, earlier we do literature review, a simple literature review we will do. And with the advancement of the technology, the some scholar come up with the idea of the systematic review, literature review. And after the systematic literature review, it was the observations of the all the researcher that literature review chapter of the any thesis is always there is a theory, right? This is the perceptions of we people have. But with the advancement of the technology now, there are the theses or there are the research papers which can use empirical literature review. Just like me in my research paper, my second chapter of the literature review is the empirical testing of the whatever happening in the field of the in the field of the domain of the leadership, the variable I am interacting. And for that I done a meta-analysis. Now the question arises, first of all, I have to enlighten you people all that what is called meta-analysis, why we do meta-analysis. Meta-analysis in beginning in the 1960s was very frequently used in the medical science, not in the management domain. In the medical science, whenever they come up with the new drugs and they want to be test on the patients before releasing into the market, and they do a what they do in for example, there is a heart, there is a hospital is specialized for the heart, and there are, for example, 500 patient are there for the that particular hospital, and the new drugs come and for the heart patients for some certain disease, and the doctor administered that drug to in for all these 500 patients, and he record the outcome of the that drugs response, right? Then he make the conclusion this drug is suitable for this disease or not. That for that he made a regression analysis, and he make the correlations that this if this is the disease and we have given this much of the this much of the dose of the drugs, and this is the outcome of the outcome, this is the correlation. They establish the correlation and form entire 500 patients. They collect the data, they empirically they make the regressions, and they come with the conclusion that 500 patients we have done this testing, and this is the correlations we find out from this. And this process is known as a meta-analysis. Overall picture is showing that this drug is suitable or not suitable. In the 90s or the 90s or 2000s era, in the management is also going to be used this meta techniques. Why we use in management this meta technique? Let for example, Let us go the example. Right now we are all gathered from here from the area of Punjab. In Punjab, for example, government want to make a policy for certain issue in the Punjab, and for that what they required evidence for the problems, right? And for the evidence for the problem in social science, what we have, the research paper be published, the researcher do research and find out the finding. This is the correlation, this is the problem, this is dependent variable, this is the independent variable, and this is the outcome of this problem. And I this is my recommendation to the government, that the government, if you do these changes or amendment these policies, this problem can be resolved, right? And we know that in the social science, the researcher, whenever we do any research, the outcome is not unified. It will scatter, it will scatter in for the different researcher, because it depends upon the respondent. For example, a student A has done a research on the variable x and y. X is the independent variable, y is a dependent variable, and after the research he concluded his R value, correlation value, is zero point 0.4. And the other researcher for the same variable, and he came up with the correlation value of 0.42. And other researcher, he came with the value of minus 42. Other variable come with the negative, other responder come with the variable value is zero point 0.9. It means when the government see all these data, the relationship, he get confused. Now, for to overcome from that confusion, through the meta-analysis, we what we can do, we will compile all these research made by these different researcher, and we will conclude what overall picture of this research say about these two variable, dependent and independent variable. And on the basis of that, government will be able to make the decision whether I should fund my finance to overcome this problem, is I should address this problem or not. That is the purpose of making the meta-analysis. Meta-analysis means you show the overall picture. This is the relation exists between A variable and B variable, and that we do empirically testing we do. Come for the next slide. Okay, the objective of my thesis was to find out the impact of leadership style. These are the 4 leadership style on the organizational performance, and these are the 5 organizations performance. And I also introduced one variable known mediating variable, workplace spiritualities. Next slide. This is the model we have established before doing the research, and you find there is a 20 relationship, direct relationship, and 20 indirect relationship. It means 40 hypotheses we have tested during our research. 20 relationship directly means spiritual leadership, and 5 variable, job satisfaction, organization commitment, person fulfillment, employee well-being, and turnover intention, and so on. We have a 20 direct relationship and 20 through the workplace spirituality as a mediating variable. Next slide. Okay, this is the we in the literature review, where what we can do systematic literature review, and after the doing the systematic literature review, where we can go for the meta analysis. In the next slide, this is the main slide of my presentation, this one. If you see this slide on the right side, well, first I will discuss you the right side what I'm showing here. Right side, I'm showing a prisma diagram. In this diagram, there is a systematic way to identify the research paper for your field. As you say, in when I did the meta analysis for my for as per the requirement of my model, I only tested direct relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. Mediating variable we are left out, because if I introduce that, the research, this topic will become very vast, right? So for that, when we use the Mendeley software, and in the Mendeley software we use the Mendeley data, able to extract approximately 2400 research paper. And after these 24 research paper, when we implied the inclusion criteria, we able to trace 243 research papers, which is we use in our meta analysis. And in any research paper, what we require to extract, this is the you can see the for the meta analysis, from every research paper you need to be extract this information to do the meta analysis. One is the what is the dependent variable, you have to clearly identify. Second is the what is the dependent variable, and third is the country where this research was held. And okay, participant of the researcher, who are the participants, students, industry, which industry you are part, telecom industry, hotel industry, the participant of the industry. Thereafter we have a correlation value, thereafter we have a correlation value of that research. For example, you're talking about variable 1 and variable 2. One is the spiritual leadership is an independent variable, job satisfaction is a dependent variable. And you find a research paper in which the correlation value is given, you have to note down that value here. And thereafter, how many people are participation in that research. They have obviously, what we're talking about the questionnaire, and how many respondents are there, that is known as, and we can record that there. Thereafter, the scale they have used, that information you require. Then alpha value of the dependent variable scale used, and the alpha value, Cronwell alpha value of the scale they have used for the dependent variable. This information you need to be extract from the each and every paper you have qualified for the meta-analysis. And by doing that, I extracted 243 research papers data from my all the database, and thereafter I done the meta-analysis. Come for the next slide. Okay, this is the slide where the overall result of the 12 relationships are shown. And this 12 relationship, as you know that there are 20 relationship which I am supposed to be do the finding of the research papers in the field of domain of this my research. And I also tell in the beginning that I am working, I am doing a conceptual model. I am going to do the empirical testing of that conceptual model, and that conceptual model it itself a evidence that there is no research held on that particular area. And when I do this all the work in the literature view, I came to know that out of the direct 20 relationship, only the 12 relationship are established, little bit established, and eight relationship are not empirically tested at all. This is the research gap I find out first of all, right? This is the research guide. It means 20 relationship I am going to be empirically test, and out of 20, 8 is giving the evidence after the meta-analysis exercise, that only 12 relationship there are the few studies that held empirically, but for the rest 8 relationship there is no research held. This is I am talking about when I searched the data bank of the Mendeley software, or the any other software you can say. On that period of the 10-year, I searched for the data for the 10-year from 2011 to 2021. 10-year data I am talking about here. And it means this is a new phenomena. This is a new phenomena in the domain of the leadership. And if you see in this analysis, result of the meta-analysis, we find the first column is for the particular of the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. Second shows the number of the study I've incorporated in this meta-analysis for pertaining to this particular relationship. And third is the number of the person participated during this particular research. And third is the value of R. This R is representing the overall picture of this 10 studies, this 20 studies, the 30 studies, overall picture. This is the R exists. And thereafter we have a corrected R plus and R plus 1. It shows that in the whenever we do any measurement of the use of any scale, you find a researcher find that when the Cronbell alpha is came around zero point 0.7, we said that it is acceptable. Or when we find the Cronbell alpha of the our scale is respondent scale is the, for example, 90, we say it is very informative and very accurate or the usable. It mean it shows that when you collect the data, you not get the 100% accuracy. It means there is a measurement error left zero point 0.9, or if your the scale value is 0.91, it means zero point 0.09 is left out as a measurement error. And while doing the meta-analysis, you can remove these artifacts, or you can remove these errors. And for that, by removing this error, you can improve the value of your R. The relationship value you can improve, and the column number 4 and 5, it's showing the improved value of the correlation. Now the next question arises, why we doing this research? Because when I'm going to do research in this particular domain, I can justify that the my correlation value of my study is this, of this relationship, and the meta-analysis value show this value, and I can compare and I can argue that this is the conclusion of my study. And accordingly we can pitch down that how we can improve, or what kind of the innovation we can do in the leadership to satisfy our employee, or make their commitment to the company, toward the company. We can take care of their personal fulfillment. And turnover intention is very important field in area in the field of the technology, because in technology we find techno company, we find that whenever you get a good offer, you are very easily in 3-month notice you are able to leave that company. And the company is spending lots of money in for the training of their employees. And when they're spending lots of money for training of their employee, they want to retain their companies. If a company has a less rate of the turnover intention, it is very good for the company, because they have invested in the training of the company, right? And for that, with this study they can find out what are the reason our employees are leaving from the companies very oftenly, and they can make plan accordingly. And come to the next slide. This is the meta-analysis which I'm talking about. And thereafter, okay, thereafter the for I collected the data from the 800 plus respondent, and thereafter we applied the CFA. And the first next slide is the first order CFA in my research question. Next slide, please. In my research questionnaire, there are the 151 items are there, and this is the result of the first order CFA of the my questionnaire data when I put down in the in the software. Next is the, and when I did the first order CFA, the value of next please, the value of the first order CFA is advised me कि you need to be segregate the workplace spirituality into two part. And the one more variable was we are forced to introduce based on the respondents respond, and that was the mindfulness. And when I discussed this with my sir and Professor R.K. Singh, Dean of the Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi, he advised me that it is very good sign that you are doing a research and your respondent behaving like that. And if you are in the position in the mid of your research, you are in the position that you have to introduce one more variable, that the mindfulness. You have to be reported properly, you have to report is a new outcome for your research. And in the research we should be biasless, we should be report whatever the outcome is came. And we introduce thereafter, we remodel our model and introduce mindfulness as another mediating variable. And with that, total now 60 hypotheses we have tested in our research. Go to the next one. In when we use the MOS, this is the revised objective. Next, in the when we use the emboss, we come with the second order CFA. In the second order CFA, we able to establish this model, and after the establish the model and the all the value are as per the expectations of the required, and this model was established. And the next slide, their convergent and discriminant validity of the second order is established, and thereafter we went to the structure model. Come to the next model. This is the outcome of the research model. When structure model was established, and thereafter we tested the hypothesis. In the next two slide, the 60 hypotheses which we have established and their relationships are shown. You can see here. Next slide. Next slide. This is all the next slide. The mediating variable relationship exists. Next slide. Come to the next slide. Yeah, this slide. I want to talk about something about it. In the research, whenever if you are a new researcher, I hope the as came to me by the organizer Nina Barar, that there are this certain researcher who are doing the research, and if we talk about doing a research 10 year back, all the researcher used to be maintained the references in their manually, and it was very difficult for them to arrange the references at the time of compiling of their thesis. I personally recommend to all the students who are the new in the research, they should learn first of all any software which maintain the references. For example, I use in my research, in my thesis, more than 3,000 research reference are there. If I am manually, I'm supposed to be check manually. I supposed to be record all these references. It is just impossible for me. I use Mendeley software, and this Mendeley software is such a useful software which automatically maintain your references. Whenever you write your literature, when you write your text, when you redraft your text, if you erase the reference, that Mendeley software has such power, it will automatically erase the reference from the bottom of the, you can say, wherever you supposed to be record that. So I personally recommend that. I am not used a single references by hand. All my thesis research references are made by the Mendeley software. I personally recommend you please use Mendeley software for your right. And why I'm talking about this, because now if you're going to do a research, you must adhere the basic principle of use of a technology in the research. If you are doing a research without use of technology, it means you are very far behind. If you want to be excel in your writing, if you want to be excel in your presentations, you have to be follow the basic guideline to use of a technology. And with that, I am here stopping my word, and I am open to the house. If they have any inquiry, please most welcome. Thank you very much to organizers.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, could you please throw light on structural equation modeling a bit? Because we have young research scholars also with us. If you could make them aware about structural equation modeling.
Right. Listen, when for that, first of all, you must download the MOS software, and in that MOS software, there are the two. In that MOS software, you have to first do a CFA. When you do a CFA, you have to be established the model mean, for example, you're doing a research, and you administrated the questionnaire, and there in questionnaire, for example, 80 items are there, and for example, there are these 10 variables are there. 5 is independent and 5 is dependent variable, right? And the respondent has given the response in the form of the agreed, disagreed, and scale of 1 to 5. They have given their response, right? And now when you whatever the response you get, that is right, you going to be test it first of all in the software. What is the conclusion, overall conclusion of their understanding of the item you have framed in the that particular structure model, that particular questionnaire you have a model. And when you establish the CFA, and when your model fit there, thereafter you can conclude, you can make the point that in my research dependent variable and independent variable is showing the correlation value of 0.65. It means it's strongly there is a relationship between the independent and dependent variable. This we can do from the our structural model. And is that you are saying is the accurate or acceptable in academia, that depend upon the your CFA is established or not established. If your CFA, yes, hello.
Yes, sir. I think so. One of the participant by mistake unmuted.
Mean structural model mean you are saying that my data is saying that the correlation is this much. If that is you saying it, if it is publishable, if it is accepted in the academia, that is only when your model is established. It means this is your outcome. And for example, this is a negative relationship you are showing here, because in my research I found 10 studies or the 5 studies in which the relationship between the spiritual leadership and the job satisfaction is showing a positive result. But as per the response from the my respondent and the analysis I have done, it's showing the negative relationship. And I when I discussed with my supervisor, I said, sir, my research is deviate from the what the society says. He said, the who are you responded? Then I said, the officer in the Indian armies. It means Indian army, they follow the autocracy, and in autocracy they doesn't follow the spirituality, and right, therefore whatever your respondent saying, it's saying the good. And you, why you are worried that you are deviating from whatever the other saying? You stick to your response and you publish accordingly, because this is your original research. You need not depend upon the others, right? This is the my say that structure equation model is such a great model. We have a different software, PSL value is there, but amos is the kind of the software which give you such complex whatever the complex model you have. For example, in my questionnaire there was 151 items are there, and I have done 20 hypotheses, 60 hypotheses I have to test. And for that, to make overall picture of my model, only this model is very suitable for me, and I learned that, and I administrated that, and I proudly say that I am excel myself in to understand this MOS to produce the result of my findings. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Haji, thank you, sir. Sir, like you mentioned, this Mendeley software, it helps in maintaining our references automatically.
Yeah, yes. For example, you find, let I suppose you that, for example, you have read a paper from the your area, right? And you read and you want to quote that according to this according to this author, this is their observation, right? And you have to be note down whatever they're saying, and thereafter you have to click down वहाँ पे साइड में ना हम जब रिसर्च पेपर लिखते हैं, वी राइट डाउन इन ब्रैकेट सो एन ऑथर एंड एयर लिखते हैं ना, वो अपने आप बन जाएगा, और नीचे जो है रेफरेंस में वो अपने आप चला जाएगा, उसका पूरा एपीआई स्टाइल में चला जाएगा अपने आप. दिस वर्क इज डन बाय द Mendeley सॉफ्टवेयर. एंड फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपको आपने दोबारा से रिसर्च राइटिंग किया तो सेकंड टर्म में यू आर नॉट सुटेबल, यार मेरे को इसको यहाँ से निकालना है, when you erase that from literature, तो नीचे सॉफ्टवेयर ऑटोमेटिकली उसको erase कर देगा, उसको बिना आपको मैनुअली कुछ भी नहीं करना उसमें. So Mendeley software is very helpful for me because in meta-analysis, when I go through from the 243 research, different research, I have to maintain, for example, 240 multiplied by 8, because in every research paper there are the dependent variable, and the scale of the dependent variable was used, and in that scale there is a Cronbell alpha I have to be record, and that for that recording I have to be record who developed that scale, and I have to make the references of that scale also in my that the column, and everything is done by the Mendeley for that. Because if I'm not using the Mendeley, it is just difficult for me to arrange entire data. If you see my thesis, a very systematic way it is showing that link is showing in, just हम गूगल मैप लिंक देते हैं किसी को, जीमेल का लिंक देते हैं, वो बार दिखाता है, नीली सी बार दिखाता है ना, वैसे ही वो अभी अभी आपकी थीसिस में नीचे रेफरेंस में वो सारा दिखा देगा कि इस तरह से मैंने आपका मैनेज किया हुआ है मेनले सॉफ्टवेयर। और मेनले सॉफ्टवेयर इज मच एडवांस। वो आपको करता क्या है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने एक नया पेपर लिखा है आपने, राइट, और आपको लगता है यार इस पेपर पे अभी मेरा आधा ही काम हुआ है, क्योंकि एक दिन में तो पेपर लिखा नहीं जाता है, यू स्पेंड मंथ ऑफ टाइम, और व्हेन यू डू कोलैबोरेशन विद द अदर स्कॉलर्स यू डू लॉट्स ऑफ एफर्ट। एंड मेनले सॉफ्टवेयर में क्या है कि एक डाटा बैंक में उसका डीओए नंबर जनरेट कर देगा आपको। वो जैसे आप उस अपने पेपर को उसमें आप डालोगे, अपलोड करोगे, तो आपके नाम से डीओआई नंबर जनरेट कर देगा वो, और वो डाटा बैंक में पड़ा रहेगा, क्लाउड में पड़ा रहेगा आपका वो डाटा, वो पेपर जो है, जो वर्किंग पेपर आपका है। तो जब भी आपके पास लैपटॉप है कि नहीं है, आप कहीं पे हैं, कहीं अपनी कॉलेज में है, आप उस अपने लॉगिन आईडी से उसमें लॉगिन करोगे, तो डीआईएस नंबर्स को आप क्लिक करके आप उस पेपर को एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं, उस पर वर्किंग करके फिर उसको क्लाउड में वापस भेज सकते हैं। दिस काइंड ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी यू कैन यूज in your research.
Thank you, sir. So last question from my side. Like when we do this regression analysis or factor analysis, we see whether our data meets those requirements or not. In case of meta-analysis, are there any requirements which the data must meet, or like we can directly apply on our data? And
for do the meta-analysis, there are the Excel file is available, right? In Excel file, you need to be made some input. For example, you have done it. You have gone through from the 10 studies, right? In 10 study, you have extracted the value of n, value of the r, Cronbell alpha, Cronbell beta value you have extracted. Now your role is that I will give you Excel file. In that Excel file, you have to be place that data, and you have to click, and this Excel file is software driven. It will generate data for you. It will generate result for you, or we can use R software also for the same, because in my thesis I also use the R software. There is a command, language command. If you follow that command, that R software will generate the meta result for you.
Thank you, sir. I request the participants to kindly raise the questions if you have regarding your topic or anything you want to ask regarding research. So session is open for discussion.
So the metric software.
Yes.
So the Mendeley software, is it free or like
Free of
does it
cost.
need subscription?
It is free of cost. Or the best part of that software, that you can plug in that software with your window. Whatever the laptop you are using, in the window there is the option plug in. Plug in mean what? Whenever you type everything, that software will link with your window, and he will automatically generate the link for your references in their Word file. You need not to be doing the Excel. And whatever you do, you can you can arrange your different kind of the research papers in that software also, because otherwise what we supposed to be do, we have to make the research for the research papers, and then we have to compile the PDF file, some folders. You need not be do anything, you can do everything in that software. Your laptop should be the free, or you can log in from anywhere and you can use it. If madam permit you, I will give you a one full-fledged lecture, or the practical version how to use the Mendeley software in the research. That will be very helpful, because when I introduced with when I come to know how to use the Mendeley software 5 to 6 years back, it was miracle for me. That I was so surprised, because for a researcher to maintaining a soft references is very easy, because or for example, in the morning we thinking something, in the evening our thinking get changed, and we want to be quote somebody else, and we doesn't want to quote this person, or we want to collaborate the both of the respondent. Then it is possible in the Mendeley software. You need not to do anything. You have to type down, and software भी ऑटोमेटिकली नीचे आपका पूरा रेफरेंस वो एडजस्ट कर देगा. इवन वो ऑर्डर में भी लगा देगा, अल्फाबेटिक ऑर्डर में, और एपीआई स्कोर में लगाना है, या आपको किसी भी एपीआई में लगाना है, कि और भी किसी भी जो रिक्वायर्ड होते हैं किसी रिसर्च पेपर जो बोलते हैं. वैसे सोशल फील्ड, सोशल साइंस में तो एपीआई हम इसमें लेते हैं, बट इन अदर फील्ड देयर इज सर्टेन फॉर्म. तो उसमें 7-8 ऑप्शन है कि आपको रेफरेंसेस किस स्टाइल में चाहिए, तो उसी स्टाइल में एक क्लिक करते हुए सारे एपी अल्फाबेटिक ऑर्डर में आपके बन के आ जाएंगे सारे. I do recommend that all the researchers who are the beginner, they please go for the Mendeley software. Is free of cost available. Is data is free of cost available. Is cloud is free of cost is available. Because I use that 4 years for my research, that Mendeley software. Even right now, when I will do any research writing, I always use, because whatever the raw material of my research papers are, that is in that software, that is the Mendeley software. And when I have to quote somebody, and I have to be read the paper on that Mendeley software, and from there I have to quote in my text, in the text, I have to be make references from that Mendeley software.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, on behalf of Shahid Pai Mani Singh Khalsa College, Longowal, I, Dr. Neena Barat, coordinator ICOSC, extend a heartfelt thank you for sharing your valuable insights into the matter, and for making our young researchers aware about new concepts, new topics through your wonderful research. Like you have made us aware about meta-analysis, Mendeley software, structural equation modeling. So your words have energized us and provided practical direction that will truly enhance our professional growth. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts, sir, for being with us and sharing your valuable time.
Thank you
so much, sir.
Thank you very much, and thanks to your principal, sir, who is the friend of mine. He make a request, sir. I'm available right now. He said me, you have to make presentation. I said him, which topic? He said AI. I'm like, okay, I am right now. The leadership in the domain of the AI, whatever the conferences they are doing, whatever the you can say innovation they are publishing in the social medias, I'm compiling them and I'm learning them, I'm enjoying them, because you being a academician, you have to be spend time to understand what the top leadership of the world or the economy is right now thinking. Because right now in the morning when I listening to the Elon Musk, he talking about that in the 5 year we are going to be make cloud computing is possible, because he said that in India, in the earth, it is very difficult to generate electricity for the AI factories. And he said that if we are able to generate the electricity for the AI factories, then we need to the similar kind of electricity to cool down that factories, right? It means lots of energy and funding is required. And he said that in the cloud the solar is there, and we need not to be factories are there. We have now the advanced ships with us, and with the few year you find a new kind of the thinking or a new kind of the innovation you will find in coming 5 years. And he is the leader who known for the first order thinking. He is the person who is think that I'm going to drive a electric car. He is the person who thinks that I'm going to be give a compute internet from the cloud, right? You need not to be wire in the coming time. He is thinking on that advanced level, right? When he speak, the world listen to him. And in my slide you find there is a brown capital group who invested in the approximately 35 million rupees in his companies or in his vision. Right now they are generating 7 to 8 trillion amount billion amounts of their that investment. It means the peoples who are investing in the leadership's vision, they will get great return in the longer run, right?
Exactly.
And nowadays China is disturbed because what we find, what I understand from this entire scenario, I understand that in the last 3 4 decades the USA made the innovation and they asked the China to produce and sell to us, right? This circle happened, and with that what happened, we find China has grown like anything because he has a lever, he has a land, he has a sea belt, he developed special economic zones, and from that special economic zone he supplied goods to entire world. He done that. But now, because there is a debt rising in the economy of the USA, approximately $37 trillion debt rising in the US economy, and if the USA is not now think seriously, they will collapse in very few days. And therefore the Trump is making the effort that I am not going to be I'm not going to be somebody administered to me. I am the superpower and I want to remain to superpower. Therefore I want that whatever I am saying, the world will listen to me. He admit that I stopped 8 wars, and for the ninth war he is making the effort. But Putin and the Zelensky is not in the good mood to make the reconciliation, or they are fighting. But very soon they will be coming to table to the peace. And now China is worried that I am able to produce, to whom I am going to sell now, because very soon you find lots of factories which is closed in the USA, they are coming up again. All the motor industries now are building their plants there. All the mining field, they are closed because they are not doing the producing. Now all the minings in the USA, now they open up. Now their employment is now getting the now you find the H1B visa is also raised for the 1 lakh dollar fees. It means they are going to strengthen their economy, right? Because they are on the vision of making the America great again, and they are doing the effort for the same. Lots of investment they are getting in their countries. And if you compare the leadership they are right now they are doing, and if we compare the now our media showing to us, our television showing, so our national television showing to us, it is very pathetic, right? If we find our media then doesn't talk about, even our leadership doesn't speak to the media. When we find out the media of the foreign this USA, the president of United Nations, Donald J. Trump, he speak each and every occasion with the media, and the world, entire world listens to him. Right, this kind of the transparency we expected that our leadership show in India, right, or any part of the world. Okay, though this is how I spend my time and generating that videos, and I'm actually, this is the way to enlightening myself also, because now it's so many innovations happening. If we are not going to be make ourselves ready to understand how we, for example, the chat GTP are using right now, or whatever the you can say AI tool you are using. These tools are very helpful for us, because in the coming time the attendance system, the assignment system, the recording of the lecture system, all is going to be automated. In our university, we are not using nowadays the registers. We are using the software to attend our students marks. We use the software to sending the notice to our student. This is your assignment, this is your timeline, and this is you have to submit it, and you have to make the presentation in your class according to this schedule. And everything is automatic, because the schools, colleges are now very smart classes, smarts, because the all the students now having a smartphones, all the faculty member having a smartphone, right? And we have to be adopt this kind of the innovation in our day-to-day routine, in the teaching or in the interaction with the student, and between the academia, right? This is the purpose of the technology, and we have to use it.
Exactly, sir. Otherwise, we'll lag behind.
Yeah.
So it was really a nice presentation, sir. So we can conclude that we need to be pioneer like Elon Musk in research also.
Thank you very much. And we are the academician, and this I'm very glad that I able to share my thoughts with all of you, and I hope I make certain contribution in your knowledge in the domain of academia. Thank you very much for the same.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.